Hey guys, Tara here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Crossroads, playing a few days spawning in the south. We have ZodiaAK as the All-Seer player, and his loadout is Mobile Defense, Lightning War, and Elite Troops. Facing off against him in the north, we have FearTheKimbo as the Brits, who has Mobile Assault, Special Weapons Regiment, and finally Advanced Emplacements. Hope we don't see that one today. Somewhat unconventional here, ZodiaAK going for a double Pioneer start, so no machine gun.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
Putting down a few sandbags and wiring them off as well. Probably would have wired off this side personally. This side, you know, it's more on negative cover anyway. Approaching from your base angle, they might not be in cover, so well, better than nothing. Getting them down across the map though, looks like that's a big part of his strategy, getting these sandbags down. Use of the territory flag here, remember you can't really get as many spots of cover thanks to those territory flags kind of blocking. He's making full use of that. Across the map, so that's clearly part of his strategy with going for these double pioneers. Meanwhile, Kimbo going for pretty standard build, just infantry sections. First engagement here, pioneers hesitating about which range to engage at there. Yep, trying to take cover behind this bush, but it's losing engagement at that range for sure. Might have been better to try and close in, even though they would cross negative cover. And he's a lot better at close range.
Infantry squad trained and ready to go.
Grenadiers versus sections. Another Grenadier squad comes in for the flank. These men run back to garrison, but ZodiaAK actually does a really smart thing. He brings the squad over to this side. Only one window on this side. Fighting now against two squads with just one window. Horrible engagement for FearTheKimbo. Meanwhile, he's coming down this side, but Grenadier's going to close in here. And ultimately losing two engagements here. FearTheKimbo getting off to a rough start. About to lose control of his cutoff. Needed to get this squad involved a little bit earlier.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
And he's just dropping mobs before they can even close the distance. In a lot of trouble, but he doesn't lose his cutoff, so that's very good for FearTheKimbo. I thought that was going to get neutralized and was very close, but just enough time. Settle for neutralizing this point. Losing engagement here though, and the light cover just doesn't as much damage reduction. Closed in here, slightly mistimed. Oh, he's just not going to win that. Or is he? No, surely not. So holding on to his cutoff, actually things end up going pretty well for Kimbo there, and I'd say in terms of models, he's actually ahead right now. So, bit of a rough start in the middle, but he certainly made up for it with some nice engagements in other regions of the map.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
Pioneers, I think they just need to close in here. Fighting too far away. See, you know, that's further than 10 range, so they're going to be getting the cover bonuses. Want to negate those close quarters units. But making a push onto this side, getting some sandbags down. One thing you do need to do. You do have the opportunity to build sandbags, you got to remember to put them down. Similar thing with conscripts if you can. If you know you're unlikely to be interrupted, you know, put down tripwire flare. Once you receive Vet 1, can make a pretty big difference. Engineers get defeated, but sections are in there now and should be able to win this one. ZodiaAK being a bit slow here to get some either harass the fuel on his own accord or get rid of the squad to get the cutoff, but doesn't really matter that much when Kimbo's got this one connected.
We're losing a capture point.
Medic's going up for ZodiaAK in the base.
The bunker is now a
Don't I mention these two ranks? I can't remember. They're both around rank 30 either way. Chuck that in there just in case I forgot. Some Breens going in for Kimbo. Also got a mine right at his base door. Destroying cover as well. Get rid of that on the outside of his base. Gonna put some barbed wire. Cover his sandbags on the cutoff. And if you're gonna place sandbags on your cutoff, this is what you need to be doing. Making sure that it's completely, or almost completely unusable for your enemy. Otherwise, it just ends up backfiring so often.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Looks like he finally gets rid of that squad there. Gonna win this engagement in the middle as well. Yeah, Kimbo going for the machine guns first. Or the weapon racks rather. Before the 5-man. It's usually the other way around.
Supply line's been cut.
Most British players. Another mine at his base entrance. Makes me think he's perhaps going to go for a sniper, because otherwise mines don't really make that much sense.
One extra soldier can be added to infantry
Gets the
squads
5-man
now.
upgrade now. And he's getting away, no trouble. Long range engagement, but we've got Grenadiers coming in on the flank as well. I think Grenadiers would win this one anyway. G42 is pretty strong. Generally only starts to lose to sections once they get the 5-man and the double Brens.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Still a wee while off now. And he's closed in, actually doing some good damage. I think 1 or 2 models there on negative cover. Oh, wins the race to the building as well. Only really needs one window as well because he's got that LMG. But first cut off for Kimbo, going straight down the middle. Will it be in time? We've got Pioneers charging up.
We're losing a capture point.
No, they're still the cutoff. Squad retreats out of heavy cover and just ends up retreating full stop.
Our supply line's broken. Supply line's been cut. Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Got to be careful when engaging against sections, because you know you think that they're 4-men and they're actually 5-men, so you think, oh, they're 4 men with a super low amount of health, but actually they're just 5 men and haven't been forced to reveal that fact to yourself. So and sometimes misjudged engagements. He's just running straight over there. Not the ideal situation here for ZodiaAK though. As I said, does only really need the one window, but it's going to lose this engagement quite badly against a heavy cover position with only one, or maybe 2 windows. Either way, not so good. And these Royal Engineers going to get on top of that cutoff as well. Tech going up for ZodiaAK, and pretty good timing as well. Should have it built in time. By the time he has enough fuel for a Panzer IV, which is what I imagine he'll be going for first. And that Panzer IV should come out, you know, quite a lot before the first Cromwell, if ZodiaAK doesn't lose too much territory right here, thanks to Kimbo investing in 5-man upgrades and weapon upgrades.
Work to construct a new company command post is finished.
Spending that fuel there. But those upgrades will pay themselves off big time. This is a situation where I probably would have launched a rifle grenade there if I had the munitions, but it doesn't quite. This is where Grenadiers start to struggle. There's the full 5-man sections. Only got single Brens on each of them at the moment, but still a tough spot. Launches the rifle grenade to win the engagement.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
ZodiaAK's fuel is quite slow right now compared to Kimbo's. It's got roughly twice as much. Off the cutoff, trying to sort that out, but really needs to cap his own fuel. Has delayed his Panzer IV, but is available for production now. So Grenadiers going to win this just because they had to charge across negative cover to close the distance. Sometimes in those situations it's better to just... Oh, why do you retreat them more? That must have been a misclick. Sometimes it's better to just bring a whole blob out at once rather than sending one squad out. You know, losing 4 models there.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
And didn't really push them off the cutoff any faster than you would have otherwise. Probably could have saved a good, you know, 60 manpower there if you'd sent them out in the blob. Oh, we've got a few abilities really. It's going to be advanced and placements. Oh, no. Okay, well. This has received quite a lot of nerfs throughout its history. Can't remember exactly what they are anymore because they were so numerous. I think the most recent bout of upgrades is the happened to the Ford Assembly. There are quite a few changes to that, I believe.
Anti-tank gun and crew now ready for action. We're losing a capture point.
So he gets himself a 6-pounder and a mortar pit. I believe also maybe you can't build mortar pits in your base anymore. You used to be able to build them in here. Actually quite effective. Probably not quite so effective these days now that the range of them has been reduced a little bit. He's planted one right next to his cutoff. Should still be in range of the central VP. Probably this one as well. So that's ideally what you want. Mortar pit to be in range of 2 VP. So anytime your enemy's trying to cap the VP, they're taking mortar pit fire. But you know, being out in this position does make it a little bit harder to defend. A bit of destroy cover going on. Let's see a machine gun purchased by ZodiaAK as well. quite late, but suppression very strong against Brits. Oh, look at that, the mortar pit just outside of range of this building. But, you know, if you attack ground, or even just barrage at max range, I'm sure a few of those shells will end up scattering along. Straight away, gets to Viet 1. 4 kills already. The double repairs going on. Panzer 4. Quite a lot of manpower to spare for ZodiaAK right now. Also, he hasn't selected his commander. But then again, Kimbo, I don't think has revealed the fact that he's gone for advanced replacements. Just put down the mortar pit. Hasn't upgraded the durability on them yet. Improved fortification.
There's a rather splendid
Before heading
Cromwell
out
ready
that way.
to go.
Yeah, we've got a Cromwell for Kimbo. So this is a very crucial point in the game. ZodiaAK about to have 2 tanks versus Kimbo's 1. And how he manages this, you know, it's going to come down to his AT gun positioning, mines,
A capture point is being overrun.
to determine the rest of the match. He's really trying to clear out all this cover. It's just to be an important part of his strategy. Charging straight down the middle, this is where he is missing his Vickers to be able to put a stop to this advance. Goes in for the crush. But Cromwell not as strong at crushing as it used to be. P4 ends up taking a few hits, getting forced away by the 6-pounder. Mortar pit hangs in there, doesn't take too much damage. Ooh! Still doing big damage as well. Managed to weasel the squad onto this side, get them neutralized on the fuel. Going for the VPs now. Now ZodiaAK investing in a mortar. You know, there was that period in time where ZodiaAK was floating around 600 manpower. I know that was around the time that he wanted to build a tank, but could have got maybe some of these support weapons a little bit earlier, started vetting them up a little bit earlier. Oh man, he's heading over this way. He's going for a base inspection, I'm not sure. Okay, we've got some howitzer fire coming in to this building, trying to get rid of that. Looks like Kimbo just wants to remove heaps of cover from around his emplacements. Oh man, how did this go off? No tank taking engine damage. Must have been triggered by a stray shot. Unlucky for Kimbo there. Been a dead tank on the back of that. And there's indeed a base inspection. ZodiaAK going deep in the base. So this must be... these two players must have played against each other a bit. Kimbo perhaps no ZodiaAK prone to go for these aggressive pushes into the base. Ooh. Trying to take advantage of that. It looks like ZodiaAK now is in that position where he really wants to kill the mortar pit, but his pushes are not being terribly effective, and this is what I was talking about. This is the crucial point in the game for ZodiaAK, but it looks like he hasn't really been able to deal the killer blow to Kimbo and his emplacements, so he could be in for some trouble because Kimbo's about to have enough fuel for another tank. ZodiaAK now investing in a Strug. So with these 3 tanks, he can do some real damage. But it's going to require a very hard to coordinate push from all 3, probably with his machine gun as well, to try and keep the Tommies at bay. But yeah, as I said, it's very hard to achieve. Kimbo is going for a second tank. Also has, you know, the Piets on these engineers. Looks like he's just destroying all this cover. Perhaps doesn't want any line of sight blockers, allowing tanks to sneak over here and contest his mortar pit. Just destroying all of this cover.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
We're just trying to operate on the flanks. Teller over there as well. Ooh! And that's what he was waiting for. Grenadier down to the mortar pit in the middle, capping the VP. That's exactly why you make a mortar pit. Strug taking heavy damage. Oh, this Strug is going down for sure. Used to get a Faust. Does. There's the second P4. It's back here. It's coming up now. It looks like his second P4 could go down. It does. Oh, and the AT gun's still contributing in this fight. Looks like another squad goes down to the mortar pit. But Grenadier is now putting pressure on the AT gun, but it rotates and takes care of the last Panzer IV. And that just went horribly for ZodiaAK.
One of our anti-tank guns is gone.
2 squads down. 3 tanks down for only 1 in return. He is now massively on the back foot.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
And remember, you know, ZodiaAK going with the common strategy these days of skipping tier 2, so he doesn't have access to an anti-tank gun himself. He's going to try to steal this one away. I don't think that's going to work. Oh no, he's just going to try to kill this Cromwell. Oh man, it's going to work too. Smoke shell coming in. Oh, but it's too late. Too late on the smoke shell with the Cromwell. So okay, ZodiaAK now back in a reasonable position. Basically all armor's been destroyed. But he had enough fuel over to build a Strug quite shortly thereafter, so he's still alright. Sounds like we've got double Brens now on a few of these Tommies, and this is where things get really hard. It's just his infantry just stands no chance against these double Bren 5-man Tommies. You have to use tanks or indirect fire to deal with them. It just does make it hard to engage them throughout the entire map. No, you have to have a tank or an indirect fire piece ready to challenge them. And often on the far off flanks of the map that's not really viable. It's going for the forward assembly, upgrading it with the medics actually, interestingly enough. I believe you can't upgrade this with medics and the fast assembly for repairs of the emplacements. I believe that was a change they made. Yeah, so only one upgrade possible on the forward assembly. And honestly, I didn't feel like he was really strapped for medics. He's got 3 Tommies. The medic upgrade, I didn't feel like his squads were coming onto the field with low health. Though I feel like this medic assembly is kind of necessary if you're trying to go for like a commandos based strategy. obviously they can struggle for healing. Some base help to fire coming in here. No anvil yet, so no airburst shells. ZodiaAK rebuilding his grenadiers. Still hasn't selected a commander. Leaving his options open. This is looking like it's going to be a long one, boys and girls. Got a lot of VPs left on the clock and they're draining quite slowly. Just basically a contest over the central VP. In here, trying to do a little bit of damage. Ends up taking a lot in return thanks to that forward 6-pounder. Ooh! Oh man, nice rifle grenade.
Enemy got one of our squads.
Needs to run up there and steal that Bren. Looks like these guys only have one Bren, so they're gonna be able to take it back. That's exactly what he needed though, because he was actually, you know, down on veterancy with his squads.
Cromwell gun tank ready for action.
Looks like a sweeper squad came out this way. She spotted 2 mines, but
The
didn't
capture point is being overrun.
have the chance to defuse them with those grenadiers pumping away. Actually got some base howitzer fire coming in here.
The Huns have 300 points at the moment.
Perhaps using counter barrage?
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Not sure. No, that was from it's from Tommy. Perhaps ZodiaAK would be wise to try take up to tier 4 here, try to get a Panzerwerfer, because it feels like Kimbo's going to try set up a bit of a camp. And Panzerwerfer is a nice try soften that up.
Machine gun fire, silly bastards.
Putting down some ace mines covering this flank. Some more howitzer fire. Is that from counter barrage?
We're losing a capture
Yes.
point.
This one has got a counter battery active.
Our anvil defensive tactics have improved our position enormously.
On a map like this, it probably will reach to around here. Quite a long range on that for on like our 1v1 maps, and this isn't one of the longer ones, this is one of the shorter ones. We have a counter battery range demonstration on my channel somewhere,
Enemies trying to take a point from us.
and it did reach most of the way along Kolodny Firma, so this is, you know, probably a similar length map between the bases, so it might even reach to around here. Very effective for 1v1 maps.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our
And
points.
the range of that, I don't think it's changed. I don't think they ever altered the range on counter battery. Get some more artillery. ZodiaAK going for a second Strug. And now we've got the airburst shells coming in for Kimbo. But 2 Strugs means that, you know, it's going to be strong against tanks, but those Tommies will still be causing them a few headaches. One of these trading blows.
Capture point. They're trying to take it.
ZodiaAK now going for the VPs in a big way. It's a good timing for it. Most of Kimbo's squad's back for healing. Going for a second forward assembly, this time with the advanced placement repairs. I think these can only repair buildings as well, right? Oh no, vehicles and buildings. So it does mean that his royal engineers are free to roam the map, try and spot those mines, which is very important. Doesn't want to lose any tanks to those towers. Came forward, poked his head forwards, taking a bit of 6-pounder fire, and the 6-pounder is so accurate at long range against medium tanks. It's the bonus accuracy against vehicles, which they added because Brits don't have mines. They did think about reducing that in the next patch. Not sure if that's going to happen or not. Strug tries to come in from the side, but gets spotted by the 6-pounder again. Can't really land any shots on this mortar pit, and this mortar pit's obviously causing ZodiaAK some severe headaches. Really wants to kill that, and I know the feeling. Yeah, so annoying to face. Can sometimes play a bit recklessly against them. So he has selected a commander, gone for the lightning war. None of his commanders... Oh my god, he's spotted this mine like 3 times. Hope he doesn't run over it. Not gonna just get away in time. Activated target weak point, but tank reversed, so didn't get to use it. Yeah, none of his other commanders were particularly effective against placements. So just went for this one. Maybe this closely support tank strafe will be useful at some point. Maybe he'll even make use of relief infantry, which is alright. Just to say, reduce the duration of that and rapid conscription. You basically never see those abilities anymore. It's a little bit too hard to use to get the value out of. The Austroopen are very good at just chucking them into that central VP and not bleeding too much manpower. Kimbo has managed to save up for a Churchill. It's nearly completed. Kind of having his army contained to around 50, but so is ZodiaAK. Looks like ZodiaAK maybe think about going for the Tiger though. He's saved up quite a lot of resources. Yeah, here is the big boy, the Churchill. Same gun as the Cromwell, but with 1400 health. Truly an insane amount of health on those. And he's going to need those repairmen to keep this thing healthy. Just these double Stugs. It's blazing forwards. And you see how little damage these Stugs are doing. But he calls in the close air support. Oh man, this looks like trouble. Stugs blasting away. Just got so aggressive with that Churchill. Just ran in there and died basically. Uses a smoke shell, but too late. think the Churchill smoke as well no longer causes it to be slowed. I'm pretty sure. Perhaps you should have tried to make use of that. Still not instantaneous like a Pence Tactician. Pretty useful. Here comes the Tiger, charging in. Probably going to reveal this Cromwell, allow the planes to come in for another pass. Perhaps not. Some artillery coming in. Tiger actually driving off here. Piet's on the rear armour, threatening him. Grenadier forced away the 6-pounder. Oh, and Grenadiers go down to the Cromwell. This is his time to push. Looks like he's getting the reinforcements. 6-pounder back on the field already. Once again, VP's neutralized pretty close to even as well, so
capture point is being overrun.
This game is this game is looking like it's going to be a real marathon. Like we've got the counter battery activated now for Kimbo. We're going to blast out this mortar. I believe this used to be free, right? There's, you have to pay some munitions for it. Or you can just lob another flare. Oh, and it does some big damage to the Stug. You get the squad on retreat as well. Oh, that was close. Man, that was close. Tiger peeks forwards.
Our lines of supply are disrupted.
ZodiaAK playing quite passively though. Just pokes forwards. Takes some damage from the anti-tank gun, then backs off. Rinse and repeat. Feel like he kind of needs to go in for a killing blow.
They're trying to take it.
Getting a few hits in there. Hitting it up nicely. Kimbo going for another Churchill, who wasn't dissuaded by the other one. And fair enough, because the last one was just... he just used it way too aggressively. Just charged it straight up the middle. Took engine damage. Took the close air support strafe. Nothing to do about that. Just needs to play a bit more smartly. Oh, Stug could be in trouble here. Having some pathing issues, but Tiger putting pressure on the anti-tank gun, forcing it away.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And decrewing it. He should go for the kill on that now if he can. No, he's going to back away, and this is the kind of passiveness from ZodiaAK that I'm talking about. So he's going to try to fight this squad instead of trying to kill the anti-tank gun. I think that's a pretty big mistake. Ends up taking some airburst shells. He's got the blind now. This blind that the airburst shells provide, different to other blinds, does not actually disable the main gun. Still a straight up blind. There are two different types of blind in this game. British blind and the other blind, like the shell shock on the Stuart has. Precision barrage called in, forcing away the machine gun but not getting too much damage done. Here comes the Churchill. But you know, Kimbo has been allowed to regather his anti-tank gun, which should have been destroyed by the Tiger. Some mines down now for Kimbo. This is another reason why I wanted ZodiaAK to go aggressively before, because we really hadn't had the time to put some mines down. But now I feel like he's got himself a bit of breathing room. Could maybe get a few mines down and cause some headaches. These Axis tanks. And Kimbo is controlling more of the map. Slightly more resources taken in. ZodiaAK really confining himself to just this quarter of the map. It's an important quarter, but it's to branch out. Churchill takes 2 shots. Should be in range for engine damage. Takes a Faust now. Tiger charging in. Putting pressure on the Churchill. Smoke on the 6-pounder. Can't contribute. Churchill perhaps going to go down. Struck from the other side as well. Down goes the Churchill immediately once again. And this is where Kimbo... Oh, this is where ZodiaAK should just go in. Charge in with the Tiger. Sit right on top of this 6-pounder. Try kill it. And win the game. This should be a sign for ZodiaAK to go aggressive now and win the game right here. Kimbo's lost one of his sections as well. He's got basically nothing. But once again, ZodiaAK not going aggressive, not going for the kill. And allowing Kimbo to stay in this game. Doesn't have control of the central VP as well, thanks to the artillery. Doesn't want to run through it. Too timid. And it is terrifying going on the aggressive, for sure. But this was definitely an occasion for it. Making use of the smoke on his mortar, try cap the center. Not going to be much use against the mortar pit's barrage though. Here he goes, he's got the Tiger. He just needs to be aggressive with the Tiger here. Not be scared of the 6-pounder and just win the game. Should coming in from the side. Tiger just needs to charge up here and kill this 6-pounder. Just do it. Oh, come on, man. Okay, it's going in. It's going in. And he decrews it. Now he needs to kill it. And he kills it. There we go. Okay, ZodiaAK. He's on the right path. He's on the path to victory. Trying to avoid these airburst shells. Does not want to get his tank blinded. And we have a 17-pounder going up for Kimbo. And this is what I was talking about, why ZodiaAK needed to go aggressively before. Because now he's allowed enough time for Kimbo to get a 17-pounder up. And this is going to cause a massive headaches through the middle. Remember, 17-pounder cannot shoot through obstacles until it gets... Oh no, you can do this now at Vet 0. It used to be a Vet 1 ability, piercing shot. But yeah, you have to activate that to get the Pack 43 like obstacle piercing bullets. Or shells.
Emplacement under attack.
So now this is where ZodiaAK does need the Panzerwerfer, because his tanks are now being locked out of the central region by the 17-pounder. And relying on one mortar is probably not going to get the job done, especially with the constant counter battery. Kimbo. He's going for a second mortar though. It's not like he's, you know, hard done by for fuel. This is why I think he should have gone for Tier 4 and got the Panzerwerfer. He's got plenty of fuel in the bank. Panzerwerfer's not going to just like destroy 17 pounder for sure, but bring it into close range. Just try wipe the squads of the British player who tries to go for the cap. Not try to barrage the emplacements necessarily. So that's probably not going to work. Strug takes a shot. Oh, and he's a bit slow to react. The 17 pounder doesn't get the second one in time. However, it's nearly vet 1. This one gets the flare. Accuracy is pretty much close to 100% accurate anyway. Vet 3 is what you need for the reload bonuses. It's the constant howitzer fire in the middle, denying the area to ZodiaAK. Should probably try and branch out to this side. If he has a Strug over here, sends a Grenadier over this way. And needs the Strug there though. Can't just send the Grenadier by itself. Oh, he's going for Panzer Grenadiers. Is he going to get some Shreks on them? Maybe he is. Base inspection by Kimbo. Strug being deployed. 2 Cromwells now for Kimbo though. Oh, he calls in close air support. This is a tremendous waste of munitions. Respect that, you know, maybe I'm getting his Panzer Shreks. Maybe during a actually important engagement. Target coming forwards, going to be in range of the 17 pounder, takes a big hit there. Oh man! But he's not going to chase. Detonates his own mine there. Both the other tanks damaged as well. I think I probably would have just driven up here and tried to go for the kill. You know, I quite often lose games by playing too aggressively, so what am I to say? Mortars are constantly putting pressure on here though. Trying to knock down that 17 pounder. Does have enough munitions for some counter battery action though. Oh, that's a huge hit by the Tiger. Can he wipe this on retreat? Tiger's kind of derping out here. It's out of range of the machine guns.
An emplacement is being attacked.
Trying to chase it down. Oh, but it's gonna get away. Unfortunate for ZodiaAK. And well, we've through another 10 minutes or so of gameplay, and both sides have only drained about 50 VPs. So we could be in for another 40 minutes here at that rate. Building himself another forward assembly, probably going to go for some more repairs if I had to guess. Which is maybe why he hasn't been using counter battery so much. He wants to save a bit of munitions for the upgrade. Oh no, that's actually taking manpower these days.
The enemy are attacking an
I'm not sure why he didn't have counter battery on before. This P-Green's out. There he comes forward. It's going to push away the Cromwell from this flank. £17 actually misses a shot there. Blind crits. Oh, Tiger charging into the base here. This one runs over the other mine that was there. And running over that mine's enough to dissuade ZodiaAK from continuing his push. Cromwell coming over this way, but I mean, really wasn't a threat to this anyway. Close air support coming in. Doesn't quite get the kill there though. That's a lot of repairs now ZodiaAK requires. Only got the one Pioneer now, lost the Minesweeper one. He needs to rebuild that. Kimbo making do with basically only 3 squads here. His manpower income is actually quite high.
An emplacement is being attacked.
Squad comes around, gets through those east mines. Trying to inflict a bit of damage. Not having too much luck. Water pit returning fire. 31 kills now on that. Actually lost one of his other mortars as well. Vet 3-1. Big loss that. Probably to counter battery if I had to guess. That's why using mortars is quite hard against a strategy like this, because they constantly activate the counter battery. As soon as your mortar starts firing, howitzers fire at the mortars. Mortars need to relocate, but sometimes you forget about that, and then they die to it. Oh, manages to sweep that tower though, finally. Been there for a good 20 minutes. In come the Cromwells. Gonna look at this.
A capture point is being overrun.
Look at this Tiger.
The enemy cut our supply
Yeah,
line.
that's why the Panzerwerfer is easier, because you can drive it up, do its barrage on the central VP, which is what I largely want to be targeting. Try wipe the squad, and then instantly with rocket artillery you're going to try and treat it anyway, so the region's getting counter barrage, probably not going to be too relevant. Yes, tanks all out of commission right now, requiring repairs, whereas Kimbo's tanks take damage, but so many repairs available back here. There's Shreks in here. What is he doing? Oh my god. Oh, ZodiaAK, what are you doing, man? Just lost the Grenadier there for no real reason. Also bled quite a lot of manpower on his Panzer Grenadiers. He's been tossing these out far too aggressively as well. This was a situation where having a close air support would be nice. Popping one down here, pushing in here with some Panzer Grenadiers with the Shreks, try to get the kill on these replacements. It's not an option now though, because he's spent so many munitions on fruitless ones. And Kimbo's army just keeps getting slightly larger and slightly larger. Pretty much even on supply now, whereas Kimbo was 30 supply behind not that long ago. Now he's taken the lead. Doesn't quite have an angle here. Just out of range as well. That's one thing ZodiaAK's been pretty good about, is trying to make use of the shot blocker here. But it looks like ZodiaAK's ready to make a push here. He's bringing all his forces out. Leading the charge. This is where it would be nice though to have the close air support, like I was talking about earlier. He's charging in. 17 pounder doesn't quite have the angle, needs to rotate it. Rotating it now. Strug's pushing in now. Oh, activated. Oh man, he's got his rear armor exposed on the Tiger. He loses it.
My lord, a tank's been lost.
Cromwell goes down. Some Shreks in here. Cromwell trying to evade. Strug. Oh, Strug goes down to the 17 pounder as well. Cromwell about to get away because this Strug unable to chase effectively. No, he's going in there now. Oh, and it goes down.
The enemy have knocked out a Cromwell.
Looks like he lost one of his panzer grenadiers, the ones that didn't have the Shrek. Got one squad of Osttroopen though for his troubles.
The enemy is trying
And
to
for the base inspection. Not sure if he hit another mine there. Or if it was already engine damaged. Now the Churchill rather, going in for the kill. It's actually on low health itself. This is a Vet 3 Strug, tremendous rate of fire. Not sure that is a wise idea. He's using tactical movement here. He's trying to rush his Panzer Grenadier Shreks onto the front line. Provide some support here. Strug bouncing. Churchill going after him. Strug missing. Oh, it's going to come down to bounces and misses. Oh, main gun destroyed. That should be the end of this Churchill. Oh my god. Oh, one of the Shreks connects max range. I think this squad has a Piet. It's got two Piets. Oh, and they get the kill with it. The problem here there is because he's gone for the heavy upgrade and they're in combat.
Supply is looking a bit squiffy.
So they're moving around super slow, so the Piets couldn't get in range. The Piets are... I feel like they're probably a tiny bit too weak, but it's not too bad. But yeah, the ZodiaAK, look at him. Back to the Stone Age. There's no units with Kimbo. Bit floating and got tank in production. Got control of that central VP. Going for the fuel here, that's probably a reflex. Should be focusing on the VPs. He's trying to challenge both VPs at once. That way the mortar pit's only going to be able to fire at one. And these artillery flares have been such a headache for ZodiaAK throughout this match. You see why this costs 45 munitions, because it is very strong. Especially with the airburst shells. And just to get the cap, so do these Osttroopen. Chance to drain off a few VPs, and now Kimbo's got himself a machine gun. It was kind of sitting back in the trench, but he's moved it forwards, getting it involved. Got a Panzer IV now for ZodiaAK, and this is a problem. He's going to be facing off against this Churchill, and the Panzer IV just doesn't have a good matchup with the Churchill. So he's got close to 3 times as much health. And more armor as well.
Our capture point. They're trying to take it.
The Shreks doing their work, pushing away the Churchill. But now that he's got Vet 1 on his machine gun, chucks in the trench with that bonus range, it's going to be really hard to overcome. We're making pretty good use of the mortar smoke. Counter battery's still going. Oh, nice grenade.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
He managed to get 2 squads of Osttroop, didn't see the second one come in. But yeah, these are really strong for capping in the late game. Looks like Kimbo making another mortar pit. This one's slightly further forwards. Going to be able to fire all these team weapons. They're trying to cover the periphery of this VP. The counter battery still raining in. Looks like he's doing it alternating between the 2 howitzers. Remember, when this is active, you can't actually build on that production building during that time, but it's usually not too relevant, but can play a factor. So ZodiaAK now going for a second Shrug. I actually think that the Tiger was... Oh man. Churchill grenade gets the wipe there. I actually think the Tiger was actually pretty good because it still has pretty good anti-infantry capabilities, but you know, strong enough gun to mix it up with the Churchill. And just like less micro requirements, right? Basically like 2 medium tanks chucked into one, easier to control than 2 tanks. ZodiaAK has just slowly been losing ground, inch by inch. 15 pounder now using its flares, giving some sight to these mortar pits. This is why the Panzerwerfer would be so nice, because every time Kimbo tries to send a squad to the middle, he's only got a few of them. Panzerwerfer barrage there, try wipe it, prevent the cap. Churchill comes in, popping some smoke. But doesn't get full coverage. Got more relief infantry for ZodiaAK, just throwing units into the middle. So now we've got double mortar pits. This is just a death zone for any unit. It's going to work on the rear arm with the Shrug over here. Oh, and again, hit after hit. He's been doing a pretty good job of managing this range with his Shrugs. Taking out of the 17 pounder range.
Point. They're trying to take it.
Out to mortar fire raining down.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
He's secured by ZodiaAK though. And the drain going. Kimbo's getting a bit low. About to give himself another Churchill though. Seeking more to put nearly V1. Strooping though, very good at the cap, as I said before.
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take
Making
one of
its
our
capping
points.
attempts a lot less costly.
Enemy infantry firing on us.
Oh my god. There's just so many mortar pits. So many mortar rounds. Continuing to use smoke.
A capture point is being overrun.
Sure, we're just getting cut to pieces there by our double LMGs. Squad's in here trying to prevent the cap and keep the drain going.
We've 100. Squad knocked out.
Oh, squad over here went down. Zook's trying to hold the line against these Churchills. Looks like he's going to hang on there. Maintain control of the VPs. Dropped a pier as well. This might have been one mortar pit too far. Just a little bit low on units right now. Can't control the VPs. Don't have secure mode on these tanks. I'm sure he would love it. I was trooping over here, just try to get them neutralized at the very least. A little bit more VP pressure. Relief infantry again. Throwing units into the middle, trying to prevent the cap.
We've 75 points remaining.
Maintains control of the middle. He's doing a real good job of keeping this trench smoked out so he can control the central VP. Using the relief infantry and the Osttrooping to absorb those mortar shells.
Supplies looking a bit squiffy.
Churchill in jeopardy, but these things have so much health, he's going to have trouble finishing it without exposing himself to the 17-pounder. "53 VPs left." Trick squad comes in from the side. And 1400 health.
We've got 50 points left.
This is so much. Oh, still exposes itself to the 17-pounder. Looks like he gets out of range just in the nick of time. But another engine damage on the Churchill. Things coming off the rails here for Kimbo. No units to cap the VPs with.
Damned enemies trying to take a point from us.
£10 still getting those juicy hits. Gonna get the kill on this P4.
We're losing a capture point.
Doesn't take long. Especially now it's got that Vet 3 reload bonus. Churchill's back for repairs. This one just about back up to full already. He's got so many repairs back here. Looks like ZodiaAK's found his plan though. He's just going to try harass the VPs, hold on to the central one. And Kimbo here, rather amazingly, instead of making another unit to try and cap, he's going to go for another tank. This is a bit of an all or nothing strategy. He's trying to rely on overrunning ZodiaAK's army here. But I'm not sure this is going to work because ZodiaAK does have quite a few Shreks. Quite a lot of infantry based anti-tank. It's not like knocking out the Strugs will just be GG. Going to go down. Strug could go down here though, using this at a risky range. Oh, but it bounces. Churchill goes down.
Tank's been knocked for 6.
Oh, and there goes the second to last squad. Kimbo's only got one left really. Strug gets mollywopped there, but I think 14 VPs left with only one squad to cap with, and ZodiaAK can basically just leave squads in the center until the clock runs out and win the game here.
With that one, enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
Oh, so ZodiaAK gets there in the end.
Supply line's been cut.
Got to see a nice Hour 12 cancer game.
An engineer unit is ready. Enemy threatening a capture point.
One and 0. So there it is. Game over. I think this last mortar pit was just a little bit too much. Just needed some squads to cap and try hold on to the VPs. And well done by ZodiaAK, realizing, you know, I can just drain them out on these last few VPs, making good use of the relief infantry just for capping squads. And draining out those last maybe like 130. He did that quite quickly. Well, I'll wrap on that, guys. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.